Hi, this is Jen Owen, and welcome to my video called What the Heck is Pelvic Bowl Work Anyway? So a lot of times it's hard to explain what I do, especially when I'm meeting someone for just a brief time and I have to be like, here's what I do. It's really hard to explain. And a lot of people have questions about it. It sounds kind of freaky and kind of weird. So I wanted to come on and make a video and just tell you what it is so you'll know. So all of this work about the pelvic bowl in this fashion started when my teacher, Tammy Kent, got trained on pelvic floor therapy as a physical therapist. So she started doing the therapy, and it's very physical, conventional. It's just working on the pelvic floor muscles, reducing pain, helping with, it was intentioned for incontinence, pain in the area, hip pain, things like that. So she started doing it, and what she noticed was that women were having emotional releases while she was doing the therapy. So she went to her colleagues and she said, hey, so what's that all about? And they said, oh, we just ignore that. Which, you know, how conventional is that? But Tammy, that wasn't good enough for her. So she started noticing what was happening when the release occurred. Where was she working inside a woman's pelvis? What was the content of the release? And she started making notes and compiling all of her information. And she spent a lot of years doing that. And then she wrote her book, Wild Feminine, all about her observations. And then luckily she started teaching practitioners how to do the work. So her technique's called holistic pelvic care. And what it is, it's intravaginal massage, but it's combined with energy work and breath work. So there's a lot of visualization, and there's a lot of visualizations while we're doing the internal massage work. Now what I'm doing is I'm really honing in on the spiritual, emotional, life expansion aspects of the work. So of course Tammy does tons of that stuff and has helped me myself with my own experiences. But what I'm calling the sacred terrain is really for those of us who want to take our lives, our businesses, our happiness, take those to the next level and really be using the work in that fashion. So it's not, of course I still work with people who are having incontinence, who are having pain, who are having problems with their periods or fibroids or any of the pelvic bowl complaints that can occur. But I think what we're missing is the women's healthcare piece of the pelvic bowl work. I really feel like it's something we should all be getting at least annually, but I personally like to go about quarterly to get my care. So as a part of women's health care, and then as a part of our expansion work. So what happens at a visit? So I've got my pelvis here, and you'll see this pelvis is a little bit smaller than your pelvis. This is probably about a 7 or 8-year-old girl pelvis. You can't really tell probably from this video, but you'll see that we have the pelvic floor and all the organs, and I won't go into too much detail on that, but you'll see how all these muscles then go from the pelvic floor and then attach into the pelvis and up into the pelvic bones, the hip bones. So what we're doing internally, I use one finger only, so I always laugh and say this is the first time anyone's ever been in your vagina without an agenda. I have no plan. I just go in with the intention to, quote, read your bowl. So it's one finger. We do an assessment, like a physical assessment, looking at how strong your pelvic floor is. Do you have any pain or tenderness anywhere? That can guide us in our work. And then we do, so there's one finger, and then you're lying down, and then my other hand goes here. And then the whole time I'm guiding you through a meditation, which is very similar to the meditation I do in my Portland office. Every Tuesday at from 6 to 7, I hold the pelvic bowl meditation circle, and this very similar to the visualization that I do with people and my patients. We do at that circle. Then we talk about it, and whatever else comes up, we talk about that. So it's been really fun so far. If you just want to come to that and check it out, that's a great way to get introduced to the work. But the difference is when you're getting the actual care, we know for one thing that trauma doesn't heal through talking. Trauma heals through touch. So the touch can actually release anything that you have. And by trauma, you know, we get wrapped up in thinking that trauma means something really terrible to happen to us, which unfortunately that is very true to women in our society, as we know. But it can be things that you didn't even recognize caused a trauma in your pelvic bowl. So we're just finding those things, and the good news is you don't have to relive it or talk about it. We just release it. So we're looking for areas that need release, and I'm looking for muscles that are tight. I'm looking for fascia, and the fascia attaches the muscles to the bones. So I'm looking for areas in the fascia that get twisted and contorted. Like when you get a sore place in your shoulder, that's the fascia. So when a massage therapist is working on that, you'll know there's a little bit of pushing, there's a lot of smoothing. We do the same thing with those giant muscles inside the pelvis. So I'm doing my work, but also leading you through a visualization. So for example, we'll go over and we'll go to like the left ovary, and I'll just have you visualize what you see. Can you see your ovary? Some people really see it anatomically, and some people see it as a flower or a seed or something that they're not very happy about seeing it look like. There's no judgment. It's just whatever you see is what we work with. So then we take the visualization mixed with the physical work, and then we release what's not needed, and then we fill that space with what is needed. And what's really, really, really neat about this work is that the tissues talk to us. I can't make this stuff up. It's the craziest thing. I've been a part of healing for over 25 years of my life, and I have learned so many things, but this work to me is it. It's how we heal, and it's how we expand. So we're not only releasing, and it sounds scary to like face your traumas and face your emotions, but it really isn't that way in the work. It's very gentle. It's like the divine feminine is there holding us up and helping us through the process. So even if it's a painful memory that comes up, we can usually release it without you having to experience pain like you're used to in your heart and your throat and through tears. Sometimes tears happen. Of course, they're always welcome and can be healing in the process, but a lot of times it's not necessary and we just move it out. When we move it out, we make way for all the good stuff. A lot of times what we're doing is connecting women with their power, and people say, well, what does that even mean? And yesterday there was a revelation for me that there's people who are strong, there's strength, and then there's power. And strength to me has an energy of getting through, pushing through, being able to stand up for yourself, not taking any crap from anybody. But power is that force within you that allows you to live your purpose, stand up in front of people and tell them what your purpose is, be truthful to yourself and what you really want in life, and have that passion. With power comes passion. So having that passion to keep you going every single day, especially as business owners, a lot of people that I work with are business owners, and keeping that passion and that fire going, it really only works if we tap in and get it down deep in the bowl. So that is the basics of what I'm doing with pelvic bowl work. I'm super excited to be expanding into the sacred terrain and see where this goes. Again, I'd love to have you visit the Pelvic Bowl Meditation Circle every Tuesday in my Southwest Portland office from 6 to 7. And then, of course, if you're ready to dive in, you can visit my website at bloompelvictherapies.com and get scheduled for the Sacred Terrain package or whatever other kind of healing services that I offer in my Holistic Women's Clinic.